How you doing? My name is Jamil JC. This is day 54 of 100 Reads, RVA, sponsored and presented by the Richmond Public Library and WCVE, your ideas station. Today's book that I'm reviewing is an incredible book. It's about good versus evil. It's about a disease created by the government that wipes out, hold on, I can't say how many people it wipe out because that's going to be in the review. But the book I am reviewing today is Stephen King's The Stand, the original version. There is an uncut version that has at least 200, I think it's 250 or 300 more pages, but I'm going from the original 1978 version. Now, some of you may have just seen the miniseries that came on ABC that had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the first episode holding up a sign as he's dying like, the world is going to end. Now, that miniseries stayed true to the book mostly, but forget that. Wipe that out your mind. Now I need you to sit back, relax, find a deep, dark space that's quiet. Close your eyes as I review this for you so you can get that image in your head. Imagine you're in a world where the government creates a strong strand of influenza that wipes out 99.4% of the world's population. So now you survive. Yes, you're a survivor. You're here. You're listening to this. But you're only one of the 0.6 that are still alive. Now, your eyes are closed. You're having a vision of a elderly black woman, 108 years old. Her name is Mother Abigail. She's telling you, meet me in Boulder, Colorado. You're in Virginia. Everything is down. Nothing works anymore. So you're going to have to walk from Virginia to Boulder. Most of the people are dead. Remember that. Only 0.6% of the population still survives. So like I said, 99.4 gone. So you may have lost relatives. You're feeling sad right now, but you get up and you go. On your way, you meet Stuart Redmond. Stuart Redmond is a very, very, very positive person, but he's a man down on his luck. So you decide to walk with him. As you're walking, not only do you have visions of Mother Abigail, but now you have visions of a guy dressed in black, long hair. His name is Randall Flagg. Now you're saying, Randall Flagg, he's flashy. He's telling everybody, let's come to Las Vegas. Come to Las Vegas for me. Well, you're like, no, I'm still going to Boulder. So on your way to Boulder, you meet more survivors, and you all make your trek. And finally, you reach Boulder, Colorado. Now, in Boulder, you finally meet this woman who was in your dreams. Mother Abigail. She tells you, oh, I'm a prophet from God. You're like, really? You sure you're a prophet from God? I don't know. So, with that, you're still living in this, what is called now, the Boulder Free Zone. All of these people are nice here. You're like, oh, we're starting society back up right here in Boulder, Colorado. I don't know why King chose Boulder, Colorado, but that's where one part of the story happens. Now, let's say you had a friend that survived too. He wasn't a nice guy, or she wasn't a nice person. Okay, so she's traveling on this trek to Las Vegas, Nevada, to find Randall Flagg. Now, okay, she's on this trek, blah, 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 blah. She gets to Las Vegas. You're in Boulder. Your friend is in Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, they're partying. They're drinking. Everything's happening. Now, with this being a Stephen King story, you're going to have your twists and turns. And here's where your twist is going to come. Randall, in the miniseries, he was portrayed as the Antichrist. Get that out your mind. In the real story, in the book, he is an evil entity, but he's not the Antichrist. I will actually expand on Randall a little bit after I finish this review, because he shows up in other King works as well. And I'm happy that I read The Stand, because it actually allowed me to read other things but Randall Flagg in it. But back to The Stand. So, in Boulder, Colorado, a young lady, her last name being Cross. Oh, see the symbolism there? So I caught that one. Okay. So, she's seduced telepathically by Randall Flagg to get somebody to try to assassinate Mother Abigail. Well, Mother Abigail just left because she felt like her ego was getting the best of her, and she lost the part about having these visions to prophesize to people. So she leaves and goes into the woods. Nobody knows where Mother Abigail is. So, as Mother Abigail is coming back into the community, an assassination attempt happens. Sadly, she dies. Let's take a moment for a second. The lady who led you here is killed. But before she dies, she gives one more prophecy about 4 men from the free zone going to confront Randall Flagg in Las Vegas. Guess what though? You're gonna have to walk. So you walked all the way from different places to get to Boulder. Now you're gonna have to walk all the way to Las Vegas. So basically, it's a suicide mission. That's what's gonna happen. You're not coming back from Las Vegas. So the 4 men I picked, they end up, your friend Stu is going. Like, Stu, don't go. Stu's like, hey, I have to go. This is what Mother Abigail told me to do. 4 men go. They trek. Feet are hurting, but they're still on their way. They finally get to Las Vegas. Las Vegas is still this party town. Electricity is going. TVs are even running in Las Vegas now. So, 4 men get captured. Ralph. At this time, a good friend of Stu's named Ralph, one of the men who trekked with Stu, is the first to be executed. But Ralph is all right with that. He's saying he's moving on to a better place. He doesn't have to worry about living in fear of Randall Flagg anymore. So, head is gone. 3 men. Let me backtrack real quick, because I forgot one thing. On the road there, one person was killed as people were trying to rob you of your goods. So you had one person died. So you move and you have 3 that enter into Las Vegas. Now, you just had 1 beheaded. So you only have 2 people left. You know what's going to happen. You're going to die. But are you dying for the greater good, or are you dying just to die? That was the question that was answered, because now the 2 of you are wondering what's happening, what's going on. I don't know. Should I have followed what she said? She did say this would happen, but that's when fear starts to creep in this part. Well, at the end of the story, Yes, the two remaining survivors of that four-man group that trekked into Las Vegas sacrificed themselves. That sacrifice shows the people that they can stand up to Randall. They stand up to Randall. He disappears in a flash of light. Like, it's like he blows up. That's the best way I can say it. Like, light comes from inside, disappears. Now you think that would be the end of Randall Flagg. However, it isn't. It is the end of The Stand from the original aspect of the book. Like I said, there's an uncut version that has 300 more pages. Now, Randall Flagg shows up in a couple of books. You can check out Randall Flagg in Hearts of Atlantis, another Stephen King novel. He's also the Man in Black in The Dark Tower that is trying to stop Roland from getting to the Crimson King. And he's attached to the larger Stephen King universe, meaning he's able to walk between worlds. So yes, he existed in an apocalyptic future, but he exists in the present as well as in the Stephen King universe. So he works for the main quote unquote bad guy, the Crimson King in the Stephen King universe, that connects everything as far as King's works as Richard Bachman under his pen name and his works under his real name, Stephen King. So, with that said, this has been my review of The Stand, and I left out one thing because I had all this in my head crammed in. If you ever meet a guy named Michael Campion, he was the first person who caught this flu that was called Captain Trips that wiped out 99.4% of the population. Stay away from him because he was patient zero who brought the virus into the world. So with that being said, check out The Stand and also check out other Stephen King books as well. It's a vast universe of that Stephen King has, as well as his Richard Bachman books. And also check out his wife. His wife is an author because this book was dedicated to her, Tabitha King. So with that being said, again, my name is Jamil JC. Day 54 of 100 Days RVA Reads, presented by the Richmond Public Library in association with WCVE. Thank you. Have a nice day. Dear Lord, tonight shall hear my testimony. Previous incarnations of me are false. Lies piled upon lies to the end making me out to be the bad guy. Sitting by your side, always there when needed, moved heaven and earth for you. Let there be light. Remember those words. I brought it for you from the dark abyss, and people have the nerve to call Christ your son. My only sin, knowing that God Almighty wasn't without sin, wasn't as perfect as we choose to believe. God is love, right? However, he turned people to salt, flooded the world, made killers into saints. One of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. Daniel killed a man for his wife and revered as God's favorite. How do I know? The Bible tells us so. Constant contradictions told through poetic prophecies. To a certain degree, there is no entity without fault. Since humans are made in the image of the Almighty, is it without character flaws? Hell, I was created right. My only sin, questioning the Creator, wondering if we are the reflection, then what are we really reflecting? Sincerely, Satan, D. Lucifer.